The NFL is on EA Sports as we bring you a look inside Highmark Stadium here at Orchard Park, New York. Today we've got a compelling AFC matchup for you, as it'll be the Pittsburgh Steelers taking on the Buffalo Bills. And a good return as he'll be stopped just shy of the 30-yard line. Now Allen off the bootleg. Throw left side complete. That's Cook. Give him 3 there on the first play of the game, and it's second down.
All defenses worry that whenever anyone catches the ball and has a head of steam coming out of the backfield, it can turn into a big play with missed tackles or he runs through people. But they were right there waiting, and they stopped him for a minimal gain.
Throwing now is Allen. That's complete to Justin Jefferson. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. 14 yards, and the Bills will get a new set of downs.
Well, I think when they look at their offense, they think to themselves, weapons everywhere, and they want to move the ball around. They want to spread it to different people. But you absolutely know they want to get this man involved as well, and that's what they just did on that play.
That's caught. Puka Nacua. And he's brought down. They get 10 more there, and I believe that'll be enough for another first down. It will.
So this is where reading defenses and practice time comes into play. You got to know what you're running versus zone versus man and how to run the proper route. And they just executed that one pretty well.
They run for the first time with James Cook. He had to fight that time. Ran through 1 tackle, but ultimately he's only going to get back to the line of scrimmage.
Oh, there's plenty of traffic waiting for him up the middle. But give him credit, he tried barreling through anyway. They're fortunate to get a yard out of that one.
They work now on 2nd and 9. Allen running right on the option. And a good push up front, and he's able to navigate his way down inside the 30. 14 yards that time, and a first down on the keeper. And this, I mean, it's certainly something to watch out for. He is not afraid to call his own number on plays like that, and here he takes it for good yardage.
And we know this defense prepared all week for this, but sometimes when you see it in person, it's a whole different ball game, and all that preparation, it goes right out the window.
This will be stopped about 2 yards shy of the marker. 8-yard gain, 2nd and 2. But yet another completion here on this opening drive, and he's now perfect 4 of 4 to start. Pretty solid execution here.
And how about how everyone's handled their nerves? Because you know what it's like to start a ball game. You're so amped up and ready to go that sometimes the execution isn't there. They've been flawless so far. Well drilled, well prepared, and excited to start this game.
Back-to-back receptions for him, and it's another first down. Well, that's not just his first, not his second, already his 3rd completion here on the opening drive. And I think it's safe to say that getting him the ball in this game, one of their top priorities.
And a top priority for the defense has got to be finding ways to cover him. And I don't think you can have one basic coverage to get it done. You have to throw a number of coverages at him, make him think as he's running downfield, and hope you can create a little bit of havoc. The coverage keyed in on him since that last completion his way. He earned a little more attention on that route, and that made it a lot tougher to get a clean throw his way.
Here's 2nd and 10. Again, they'll throw with Allen. Throw to St. Brown, complete on the left side. And a nice job to break free of 1 tackle, but it slowed his momentum somewhat, and he's taken down right after. 5 yards, now it's 3rd and 5. And forget about the run to set up the pass. They're just coming out throwing.
Forget trying to set anything up. They feel like they have the advantage. They feel like they have the matchups, and they're just attacking right now.
Yep, going to the air on the opening drive. And this is caught for a Bills touchdown. Puka Nacua from 8 yards out. And the Bills get the upper hand as they're on the board first here this afternoon. That was a really good opening drive on a number of fronts. 10 plays, very methodical, set the tone.
So you know right now, if you're on the defensive side of the ball, you're on the sideline saying, okay, what do we have to dial up in order to get off the field a lot faster? Because both sides are out there for 10 plays, but one side comes off energized, and the other side comes off with some questions.
After the touchdown, out is Prater to kick. And a decent return out to the 27-yard line. And Pittsburgh getting set to take the field. Looking to put a drive together. Play action. Now Jackson. Short throw caught by Bowers. Will go down as a gain of 6. And that'll bring up second down.
Brendan, to me, what's important right here on this drive is for them to get at least 2 first downs. They've got to give their defense a chance to settle down, catch their breath a little bit after they give up a touchdown on the opening drive.
From the 33, here's a second down and 4. Now it's Jackson. He finds Smith-Njigba. And he gets this up across the 35 before he's out of bounds. Calling a gain of 3 on the play. And that's going to make it third down and less than a yard. Jackson's going to try the sneak. And he will have a Steelers first down as they're able to get the third down conversion.
There may have been a little bit of an element of surprise there. 3rd and inches, and they go quarterback sneak. I still feel like this is a play that often is reserved for 4th down.
Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. They'll run for the first time with Saquon Barkley. And some nifty running here as he'll take this across midfield and down to the 47. After 1, 7-0 on EA Sports. Steeler football here to begin quarter number 2. As they've got it with a 1st and 10. Off the play fake. Here's Jackson. That's into the hands of his tight end Bowers. So 5 yards here, 5 on the play. And that'll make it second down.
As a passer, you're always trying to find that open window to throw the ball downfield. How about this one? Right in the middle of the field, right in the heart of a defense.
From the 43, here's second down and 5. A give to Barkley out of the gun. And he's taken down inside the 30. The Steelers picking up 15 yards there at a first down. 2 carries for him now in the opening drive, both for good yardage.
And based on film study, they thought that there was a chance to spring him more than once for some pretty good yardage in this game.
So a solid run by Saquon Barkley and another 1st and 10 here. And they'll keep leaning on the running game, back to the ground. And this time they were waiting for him as he'll be knocked down before he can get back to the line of scrimmage. Hustling through to break that play up, Max Crosby.
Sometimes you just sit back and marvel at what he can do defensively. Speed, strength, quickness, he's the whole package. And that package just wrapped up the runner for a loss.
To throw is Jackson. A quick throw there is incomplete. The intended target, Saquon Barkley. And it's third down. We'll see what they have drawn up here. A little bit behind the line. 12 yards needed to gain a first down. Here's Jackson. And unable to connect. Incomplete. I'll give them credit. They took their shot, but it's going to bring up 4th down.
They decided the opportunity was there and launched a deep ball, but he was unable to get away from the defender. Couldn't create space, couldn't uncover at the end of the route, and that one winds up incomplete.
A 48-yard attempt.
Boswell's kick is good. And they are on the board, but still trailing. It's 7-3. So both teams come away with points on their opening drives. Now they still trail. They answered the touchdown with a field goal, but at least able to break that goose egg here early.
And that is what's important, right? Because they didn't let that initial touchdown go unanswered. Took the ball themselves, moved it downfield, and put it through the post for 3 points. Game on.
The kickoff for Pittsburgh.
And out a little across the 25 to the 27. So here come the Bills out for their second drive. A long drive last time out for this offense, Charles. If you remember, they started basically in the shadows of their own end zone, marched it down the field, and a lot of that was through the passing game.
And, partner, as a former defensive back, I'm having almost a physical reaction watching what's happening right now. But let's give credit where it's due because they've done an excellent job moving the ball through the air. Secondary getting picked apart pass by pass. Obviously, they need to make some adjustments there on the back end.
And because offensively, we know that they're not going to be shy about throwing that football.
As this old brain remembers, when I see 5 wide receivers on the field as a defender, I know the ball's coming out hot. They expected it and got there and popped it free.
Play action. Now it's Allen. Into the hands of the tight end, Dalton Kincaid. And they'll get it up just short of the 45 at the 44. First time they've hooked up here. Good for 17 and a first down. And defensively, they were in zone coverage there. Do you have to be a little careful? You're losing playing against a good quarterback like he is to not play too much zone?
Yeah, you have to be careful about how much time you're giving up. I think it's a good point you just brought up. So maybe if you still want to play zone, you go zone blitz scheme. And you can drop anyone out of your defensive front, defensive end, defensive tackle. It doesn't matter. You just exchange someone to bring more pressure towards the quarterback and still try and cover downfield. I think the best offenses love to get the ball to their running backs in open space because they have the ability to make people miss, and they also have the ability to run over people. And if you do that throughout the game, after a while, they might just run through some of those tackles and go a long way.
We saw him shed a nice tackle on that play. Call it no gain on the keeper, and it's going to bring up a third down. Well, for that being an option play, there really weren't too many options available for him, were there?
No, there weren't, and at least he was able to get back to the line of scrimmage, so they didn't lose anything, but you're exactly right. Nowhere to go.
Allen taking it himself. And he is going to have the Bills first down as they're able to get the third down conversion. Only a yard there on the keeper, but that's all he needed. First down. First down, here's the run with Cook. And nothing doing. He's immediately taken down at the line of scrimmage. Alex Highsmith there on the tackle. And as a defensive end, getting off the ball quickly, swarming to the football, making a tackle. That's what we saw right there.
Yeah, that's what their job is. And really, a lot of the time, they have to throttle back a little bit in the run game because you know those defensive ends, they're like in a sprinter stance. They're just heading straight for the quarterback. That was good recognition on that play to hold him to no gain.
So give them 5 yards there on the pitch and catch. And all of a sudden here, it's third down.
I know sometimes we can get fooled when we watch him make catches, as we just saw him do there, because he really looks like a wide receiver the way he goes about his business.
Yeah, 230, 240 range.
Yeah, not super huge. Maybe not counted on to be that inline point of attack.
And it's intercepted at the goal line. Derek Stingley picks it. And the Steelers are going to have the football at their own 1-yard line. The Pittsburgh offense at the line to start their next drive. There was still more than a minute to go in the half. Time to try to mount a drive.
And I would think that they would have to. This is today's NFL. You got to push it whenever you get an opportunity. You could never have enough points with the high-powered offenses that you face. And analytics will tell you, try and score when given the opportunity.
Running again with Barkley on second down. And he's able to get this up just shy of the 15. Now the Steelers use the first of their 3 timeouts as they stop it here with just under 40 ticks to go in this first half. Jackson. Smith-Njigba to the ground. And he's taken down, but not before he gets this across the 25-yard line. Another nice gain, 13 yards that time, and another first down.
Well, coaches always talk about finding balance on offense. I don't think you get much more balance than this. Big-time run, big-time pass.
A 1-2 combination. Looked pretty good.
How about that? Let's see if they can continue to take that kind of a punch, though.
Final play of the half here. It's Jackson going for Metcalf on the deep ball. And this is dropped. Oh, it's incomplete. He had a big gainer in his sights, but he could not reel it in. The Steelers going to get the football first here, trailing on the scoreboard as we are back underway on EA Sports. Oh, a nifty juke there.
Not much fun for a guy trying to tackle him.
And they'll get him down here at the 23. The Steeler offense ready to get going to begin this third quarter. This is a game, Charles, that's been fairly starved for offense. Really not much in that first half. We'll see if they can get something going here as we look toward the third quarter.
And not just a chance to finally get a little more offense going, but to erase that small deficit they currently trailed by. I think they'd send a pretty powerful message to the opposite sideline if they drive it right down the field coming out of the half.
And he's got Smith-Njigba. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. That one nearly 30 yards, 29 officially.
And that's the kind of play this offense needs to maybe kick them into gear a little bit. They've been stuck in neutral much of the game. Perhaps that can give them a little bit of confidence that big plays are out there.
Jackson. Going right back to Smith-Njigba. And he's going to get this inside the 30. He's been a one-man wrecking crew these last couple of plays. This time 18 more and a first down. I don't know what they talked about at halftime. Whatever it was, it worked. They look like a different team here in the third quarter.
Yeah, I doubt that there were very many trash cans that got kicked over, that type of a speech. I think what they did was they analyzed what worked in the first half, what didn't, and figured out a better game plan.
Heck of a move and then brought down near the 23. 48 yards rushing for him now to this point.
They've created a nice sustained drive off of plays like that. A nice strong run there that keeps them advancing the ball.
From the 23, here's a 2nd and 4. They'll go to Barkley again. Shifts by at the 15. And they will eventually get him down, but he's inside the 5 all the way to the 3. That burst good for 20 and a first down.
Oh, he's got the full package. He can spin, he can juke, he can make you miss, he can drop his shoulder on you. Some of that elusiveness we saw at Penn State has definitely translated to the NFL game. Saquon Barkley hit the proper buttons and turn him loose.
Warren, touchdown, Pittsburgh.
And maybe that's the magic touch right there. They didn't use him at all in the first half, at least running the football. But here they entrust him with some work down in the red zone, and he responds. 1 carry, 1 touchdown.
Chris Boswell now for the extra point. And it's through, and that makes the lead 10-7. Boswell now to kick it away after the touchdown. Now a hit and a loose football. And it's picked up by the Steelers. And they're going to set up shop at the 27-yard line. A first down carry for Barkley. And he's going to take it in for a Steeler touchdown. 26 yards for Saquon Barkley. And the Steelers are able to strike quickly to add on to their lead. Well, this offense only mustered 3 points in the first half on that field goal. They picked up the pace now. 2 third-quarter touchdowns.
Hey, you remember that appearance we had last week in front of that crowd, and they asked about halftime adjustments and all that was going on. And remember what I said. It's not always an adjustment at halftime. Sometimes just remembering the game plan and playing better, tuning it up and just working through it methodically. They got it done in this case.
Of course, I'll always remember that appearance because I had on a brown belt with black shoes, and you pointed that out in front of the crowd. So thanks for that.
I said that out loud?
You did.
My bad.
Boswell now to kick it away after the touchdown. Well, now how about this return? Fighting his way through contact. And he'll weave all the way up to just a few yards shy of midfield. A great return. Here's the Buffalo offense now as they get set to take over here. Been a little bit of an interesting start. The first drive for him, Charles, they had the passing touchdown. The second drive, he threw the interception. So we'll see what this third drive of the ball game brings.
Yeah, it's kind of a tiebreaker, isn't it? I mean, that's the tough part for them and for him because, things went really well in that first one, not so well in the second one. He wants to get back to what he did to get this game going.
It'll go as a gain of 4, and it'll be second down.
Completion was given up, but that's why you play zone defense, so that you can have people around the ball when it's caught, and you don't give up much run after the catch.
To the air, Allen. Going to be taken in here by Nakua. So the completion good for 6 yards. And that'll bring up what looks to be a 3rd and inches. Can't be more than a half a foot.
Timing is so important on a route like this because he's going to line up out right, then cut straight across the field. I think the ball might have come out a count or two too late because by the time he was able to secure it, not much of a chance to turn it upfield.
And he is going to have the Bills first down, at least at first glance, as they'll spot the football just beyond the marker. They find a way to convert on 3rd and inches.
I don't know about you, but I like this call. 3rd and inches, and instead of worrying about getting it back to a running back and maybe there's some penetration from the defensive front, just go ahead and take it, move forward, and pick up the first down.
And as we say often, shows confidence in your offensive line. A short throw pulled in by Kincaid. So the completion gets him just a yard. And it's second down.
As a defense, you're more balanced when you're in zone coverage because you're able to keep your eyes on the quarterback and see the play develop in front of you. You're able to keep the quick pass in front of them and stop it right at the line of scrimmage.
Up the middle, it's Cook. They wind up getting 4 down to the 36.
Well, it's not time to get him established, but in my estimation, they've got to pick up the urgency here. They've got to get quickly in and out of the huddle and run off a bunch more plays.
This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on 3rd down. Here's Allen to throw it. Working in the middle of the field, and he's got a man complete. And he is going to have the Bills first down. They needed 4. He doubled that. He wound up getting 8.
As an unbiased observer, I think it would have been interesting to see what they would have done if they hadn't gotten the first down there. But since they did, I guess the point is moot.
And they were right there in that middle ground, field goal range, punt, go for it. But as you said, they picked it up. Option play. Here's Cook. Try to find a lane, but instead he'll get back to the line of scrimmage and no more. He'll lose a yard there, and it's 2nd and 11.
At the 28-yard line.
3 quarters have come and gone. We'll return with more after this. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. Now in Buffalo. The Bills have the football, but they trail here as we begin quarter number 4. To throw, it's Allen. Throwing middle, but it's incomplete.
Nowadays, quarterbacks don't mind throwing into coverage because of the confidence they have in their receivers to come down with the ball. But sometimes you have to be careful you don't get too confident and throw an interception.
9th play of the drive coming up, and certainly not an easy one on 3rd and long. Allen. Out route to Jefferson, and he's got it. And they're going to have themselves another first down as the tackle's made at the Steelers' 17-yard line. And a 2-score game, obviously, every play, every 3rd down, like we saw there, magnified. Big pickup.
It was a huge pickup. What they really want, though, is to not even get to 3rd down. They've got to maximize time and conserve as much as possible.
Allen now looks to throw. Now, a quick throw there, but it's going to be incomplete. Great coverage there all around. Really didn't have many options to throw the football.
Very little chance that that one was going to be completed. Every receiver was locked up.
Now is 2nd and 10. Now Allen. His throw incomplete, nearly picked off. And with his pedigree, he doesn't drop any of those. But 3rd down coming up.
Oh, this defense knows. 4th quarter, they need to make a play. That one was ripe for the taking. Could have changed the complexion of the ball game, but it winds up incomplete.
Now Allen again. He's got his target. That's complete. And the Bills are going to have 1st and goal as they try to finish off this drive with 6 points. But correct me if I'm wrong. Yeah, you're down 2 scores. I don't think you need to rush just yet, but you can't take your time either.
Yeah, even if you don't want to commit to full 2-minute offense, you have to up the tempo, up the urgency. Maybe you're starting to call 2 plays in a huddle each time you snap the ball.
They'll run with Cook. And nowhere to run on the interior of that defensive line. He'll get back only to the line of scrimmage. That's going to go as a loss of 1 on 1st down.
There's no question that coming into this game, this defense was pretty vocal about its desire to take this running back out of his game. And all that pregame wolfing has turned into results.
Here's Allen. Swinging this out wide here for Cook. And the stop will come inside the 5 at the 4. They get only a yard there. Now it's 3rd and goal.
I know it was a game, but you have to sense probably a little bit of disappointment there because when it's out there in open space, I think they expect to get more out of a play, don't you?
Especially when you're getting it to your guy out of the backfield. You're expecting him to be able to create something, be a little more shifty.
Yeah, no doubt.
And he's got his tight end Knox for a Bills touchdown. 4 yards on the touchdown grab. And the Bills have made it a 1-score game again here in the 4th. Well, that's just how they drew it up, CD. His first read was there, got it to him quickly, and into the end zone.
Absolutely excellent execution by all involved. And the coordinator, got to give him credit, found the perfect play call. Quarterback let it fly as soon as the target came free. And this guy made a nice catch. Just how you draw it up in practice and then execute it in the game.
After the touchdown, out is Prater to kick. And it's a pretty good return here as he'll get this up to the 29. Out comes the Steeler offense now, ready to see what they can do here. Their lead back down to 1 score after the touchdown a moment ago. First down's a must on this drive as they start out here 1st and 10. Looking to put a drive together. Play action. It's Jackson. And nowhere to fit that football in. It's knocked away and incomplete.
as a defensive back, you have some weapons at your disposal that we don't often talk about. And you can read the receiver's eyes, you can read his hands, and you know that the arrival of the ball is imminent, and that allows you to make a play on it and oftentimes knock it away.
Here's Jackson to throw. And complete to Smith-Njigba. And he'll be out of bounds across the 30-yard line. 4 yards the gain, and it'll bring up a third down. They like going to him in the slot. He catches another one.
I think this comes under the heading of, until they stop him, why not go back to him? He has something going really well. Great working relationship with the guy throwing the ball, and they keep making the connection.
Throw left side, complete to Chase. Now the Bills are going to use the first of their timeouts. And as the two teams talk it over on their respective sidelines, we take a break.
First and 10 at the 40-yard line.
They couldn't ask for much more to this point in the second half. A gorgeous day, one-score game. First and 10 here. They'll get the tight end Bowers involved there. Well, he's going to be out of bounds, but not before he takes it inside the 40. The catch and run, good for 24 yards.
These guys are running offense like you drive. The pedal is down, stomped down. How about that? Back-to-back completions. They are rolling.
So much for being conservative and running that football. Up the middle with Barkley. Shreds the tackle. Now the Bills will use the second of their timeouts. That's going to leave them with just one remaining here in this fourth quarter.
Brings up second and 9.
From the 35, here's a second down and 9. Quick strike out wide by Jackson. The Bills are going to go ahead and use their final timeout.
A gain of 2.
And as the two teams talk it over on their respective sidelines, we take a break. One of the bigger plays in the game thus far, and the crowd getting into it as we come up on a big third down. Jackson now. Pass to the sideline and pulled in. And down to the 20 he'll go before heading out of bounds.
A gain of 12 yards.
He's been the go-to guy. They needed a big play there on third down. Went his way. It worked out.
It doesn't matter whether they've scouted it or that they think he's going to get the ball. He has a knack for finding his way open and completing the connection.
They go back to the ground now with Barkley. Hard running at the 15. And the Steelers are going to have a first and goal as he's able to take this inside the 10 to the 8.
And that's the type of run that they're looking for, because they'll need to continue to rely on him to move the sticks in this tight game in order to preserve this lead.
8-yard line.
And they'll indeed take a knee. Now from the 9, here's second and goal. They run with Washington. And he maneuvers his way down to the 3-yard line. I'm assuming they're keeping this football on the ground, right?
I would think so, because you're looking at the clock. That's in your favor. You're looking at the geography of the field, right? Where you are, that's in your favor as well. Keep it on the ground. Keep pounding. Run that clock down. You got everything working in your direction.
Clock counting down toward 40 seconds as they take the knee. Charles, in these lower-scoring games, you know it better than anybody. Points are at such a premium, but taking care of the football is king. They played turnover-free from whistle to whistle, and they come through with a victory.
Yeah, and that's what won them the game, because even doing it that way, being that clean partner, they weren't able to really run away with this game. So that tells us just how important it was to make sure you played mistake-free football. That led to the victory.
So that's a wrap for Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gaudin. And this has been a presentation of the NFL on EA Sports. For more, check us out at easports.com. With that, we say so long from Buffalo.